Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
All right, everyone. Merry Christmas. It is the Free-for-All Friday. It is December the 19th. We will be doing our show Sunday night live. And then next week I'll be reading, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and Hookers and Blow, our favorite Christmas stories. And any way you look at it, folks, it's going to be one hell of a show right now. I've got so many things to talk about. I'm going to go right down my line, get your questions and thoughts into Ooman. I do have a Christmas party to attend, so I won't be staying late tonight, but Sunday night we'll stay as late as we need to. Let's get into it, folks. I am not going to let evil persist. I'm not going to let the bad guys get away. I am not Dan Bongina. I'll name names, name organizations, everybody. I don't care. What I care about is you, me, our families, our freedoms, our nation, our laws, our republic. That's what matters. Fuck everyone else. It's Christmas time and fuck everyone else. But that also goes for people of the world. As far as sticking up for them, standing up for them, talking for them when they can't talk. In England, they have passed a rule. I don't even think it's a law. It's just some fucking rule that a judge no longer needs a jury to have a trial. You can go to trial. A judge can convict you for up to 2 years and you cannot appeal. It is now a prison island run by Muslims, for Muslims, against Christians, against Brits, against whites, against girls. Ooh, it's getting nasty, folks. That's why they disarmed England and Canada and Australia of all their guns, because they're bringing in a bunch of crazed, anti-Christian, anti-civilized fruitcakes. Well, America, we ain't giving our guns up. And anybody wants to take them, you're going to have trouble. We're not giving up our free speech either. If you want to come and try and take that, sorry, I'm not going to allow you to arrest me today for exercising a constitutional right for which there can be no law that violates it, nor can there be a penalty, a license, or a fee for exercising said right. So fuck you, Washington, D.C. Senator Langford steps up today. He's a U.S. senator. He says, quote, "This is the United States of America. We have a First Amendment right to whatever faith we choose. We also have the freedom of speech." So far, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? But he continues. And he says, "And I have the right to call out anti-Semitic hatred. Anti-Semitism has no place in our nation." And now he has revealed, Senator Langford has, why he wanted to talk so tough. So he could run over and collect his money from Israel. Well, guess what, asshole senator? We, all of us Americans, we have the right to make fun of, insult, criticize, point out lies, talk about genocide, attack of U.S. naval ships, the mass murder of Christians, and the calling for genocide against whites, and expose the anti-white hatred of Islam and the anti-white European American hatred of Israel that they have for us. You won't hear it coming from AIPAC. Of course not. You won't hear it coming directly from the mouth of Benjamin Netanyahu. But there are rabbis all over the internet and various Israelis and Jews all over the internet telling us how and what they don't like whites. They need to stop whites. They write about it in the Jerusalem Post. They write about it in their newspapers. Big headlines. Not acceptable. Now, they have the right, if they're an American in our country, to say whatever they want. I'm good with it. But when you say you're anti-white and we need to make whites feel comfortable with being losers, they need to get used to losing and feel the disappointment, right? White children need to hate themselves. These are coming from the mouths of people. Say what you want. But we have a right to point out who you are, what you are, who you take your money from, who you support, and what you believe based on the things you say. That's it. I don't want to destroy them. I don't want to close their bank accounts. I don't want them to lose their jobs. But I'm going to point it out. You, on the other hand, they will destroy you if you talk about them. Well, we've got another case of secret societies, secret organizations. And I'm not talking about the International Order of Oddfellows or the Masons or the Mooses or the Elks or the Rotaries. I'm talking about the CIA and Mossad and their business partners, a secret societal organization that combines banking with the military-industrial complex, with the financial-industrial complex, with the medical-industrial complex, with all of the intelligence services. They're working together against us, folks. What we had was a targeted shooting on a college campus. The shooter shouted out something. No one says. There's no footage. There's no witnesses interviewed. The shooter gets away. And then this same guy kills a nuclear physicist. The shooter gets away. The government can't figure it out. The FBI, the police, nope. But a homeless guy breaks the case wide open with no identity or online footprint, who simultaneously has a cell phone and a Reddit account, who wrote down the license plate of the car of the shooter and confronted him in a bathroom. So the authorities were finally able to track down the shooter's car, trace his untraceable phone to the storage facility where the shooter is found dead, who has committed suicide after his massive efforts to hide himself, sneak, slip, get away undetected. Somehow, a homeless dude again manages to do all these things and crack the case. Well, Israel says that Iran did it. Nobody else knows anything. Well, I guess we have another CIA Mossad classic. People are going to die. Nobody knows who it is, but we found the patsy. Committed suicide. What a shame. But folks, typical. Now, this week and last week, I talked about the Russian oil tanker that was hit by Ukraine, just absolutely destroying this oil tanker. And I'm sure oil came out. Where are all the environmentalists? Where is Greta Thunberg, the little climate Grinch? Where is she at? Where's the mainstream media? Where are all the climate scientists? Where are all the EU politicians over this massive oil spill? Fish, birds, water polluted, rocks covered in oil. Remember when the Exxon Valdez, it spilled oil? That was national news, folks. All those little ducks and birds and seals that got covered in goo. They made it sound like, well, when that happens, the world's going to end. Well, Ukraine does it. No problem. Well, guess what? Ukraine has done it again. A Ukraine drone strike hits a Chinese oil tanker this time. Whoa, this isn't a Russian tanker, folks, a Chinese oil tanker. And they didn't do it in a Russian port or even in the Black Sea. They hit it in the Mediterranean Sea, folks, which means you got to go all the way through the Black Sea, through Turkey, through Constantinople, which is now known as Istanbul, and then into the Mediterranean. They were nowhere near Russia. They were in international waters, and Ukraine attacked a Chinese oil tanker. Does the European Union want war with China? Does Britain want war with China? Oh, they're going to fucking pay for this, folks. They're going to be paying reparations for damage done, or China may cut off Europe, or China may commit its own actions. A lot of people are saying, look, Ukraine can't do this sort of attack without the British. They can't do this sort of attack without cooperation from NATO. Yeah, the Chinese oil tanker was there, more than likely going up to Russia to get oil. Well, doesn't China have a right to get oil? Doesn't Russia have a right to sell oil? Does Ukraine have the right to attack the property of other nations? And remember, China is a communist country. It's an odd communist country, but it's communist nonetheless, meaning that ship is property of the state of China. It's not just some oil company. And on top of that, folks, the Russian hypersonic missile systems have been deployed into Belarus, which means White Russia. It is north of Kiev and west of Russia, obviously, for those who are not or are, geographically inclined. Yeah. And these missiles, they can reach, I think, London in 7 minutes. They can reach Kiev in like 70 seconds. They're hypersonic. I think that's like, these are 25,000 miles per hour. It doesn't take any time. They can hit Berlin. They can hit Paris. They can hit Brussels. They can hit wherever the fuck they want. We're coming to a very sharp point in world history. I listened to Tom Luongo today. He was on, I think, a channel on YouTube called Commodity Culture. And Tom Luongo talked about the fact that the European Union is flat ass broke. The European nations are flat ass broke, which is why Prime Minister Meloni of Italy came out and told the European Union, Italy's gold is Italy's gold and it belongs to Italy. It is not the European Union's bank. It doesn't belong to them. And they want their gold back, folks. The European Union's about to collapse. There's economic trouble everywhere. And what do bankers like to do when they've broken everything? They like to go to war and hide the fact and then default on everything. Crazy. And if that wasn't bad enough, I'll give you some more. I'm going to give you a government torture alert. A United States of America, Washington, D.C. torture alert. Now this, what I'm going to read you folks, is about political torture. Real physical, psychological torture. And it's recent. It's brutal. And it happened under the Biden administration all the way through and into the Trump administration. And guess what? The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, is not bringing justice. No. She's trying to hide it and not accept responsibility. Oh, you're going to love this shit. The American, the patriot, his name is Ryan Samsel. He's from Philadelphia. And he was at January 6th in Washington, D.C., peacefully protesting. And the Biden, Harris, Merrick Garland regime put him on the FBI's top 10 most wanted domestic terrorist list. Why? Why not? When the government is tyrannical, they don't give a fuck. So they threw him in that prison, the gulag in Washington, D.C., and they just fucking unleashed, sadistically unleashed 4 years of real torture, 4 years of hell on earth. And I'm going to give you some of the nastiest examples. Okay? You've heard little stories here and there. This is one man. He was beaten by Washington, D.C. police, guards, unconscious. They shattered his face. He suffered from massive blood clots. He now has what are going to be lifelong injuries from physical abusive torture. He was denied medical care after being sprayed with chemicals. Yeah, you're supposed to give medical care. Why did they spray him with chemicals? Oh, they don't want to tell you. He was thrown in a cage next to a World Trade Center bomber. This bomber got $44 million. While Ryan, right, our patriot, our American, oh, by the way, he was a black man. Ryan Samsel, black. Yeah. What about Black Lives Matter? Well, not when you're a Republican. That's why I want all black conservatives, all Hispanic conservatives, all Asian conservatives, and all Native American conservatives, and any other conservatives. You're not safe. Just being someone other than white is not going to save you. Right? The terrorist prisoners at Abu Ghraib were not treated as badly as Ryan was. So the FBI wanted to cut a deal with him and said, quote, lie that Trump ordered it or we will destroy you. Well, Ryan refused. He refused to condemn Trump, and they destroyed him, folks. Trump decided he's going to pardon Ryan because he knows the man is innocent. Good. But now, folks, and this is what really pisses me off, I can understand why these left-wing scumbag Democrat pieces of shit do what they do, because that's what they're promising to do to you, and that's what they're promising to do to me. That's what the enemies of America, the enemies of freedom, the enemies of our republic are promising to do to us. Oh, you don't want Sharia law? Well, they're going to come into your house. You don't want to convert? You're going to pay a tax and they're going to rape your women. You want to talk shit about some other country? Oh, they're going to come after you and destroy you. Right? You bet. That's what they want for us, but nothing's being done about them, right? Well, speak up, folks. My mother used to say it all the time. Speak now or forever hold your peace. That's what the First Amendment is, folks. So the Democrats did all that, but you would expect better from the Republicans, that they would tell these Muslims, shut the fuck up, and tell Israel and Turkey and any other country, Ukraine, you talk to Americans, you talk about our people, you threaten them, get the fuck out of our country. But no, they're not. Republicans are not. And now the whore of an attorney general, Pam Bimbo Bondi, loser. She is anti-Christian. She's anti-gun. She is pro-pedophilia. That Bondi. And her Keystone Cop Department of Justice, they're in federal court fighting so that this patriot I've described, who was tortured, they want to give him nothing. They're trying to dismiss his claims under the Federal Tort Claims Act, the FTCA. Well, that's where you file a lawsuit against the United States government for assault, battery, and deliberate torture. And Pam Bondi, after seeing this guy, after knowing what was done to him, and Trump pardoning him, is fighting it so he can't be paid for the pain, suffering, and a lifetime of fucking medical misery he's going to have. So I say to you, Merry Christmas. You and I, America, we bit the Make America Great Again hook, line, and sinker. We paid for everything, and we still didn't get what we wanted for Christmas, which is our country being looked after by our politicians. Our politicians are sucking up to any foreigners throwing money at them. While they take our fucking money, they take our money every year, all year long, and we get jack shit for it. Whereas other countries, other religions can throw money and sprinkle it like fucking cocaine all over our politicians, and they dance the dance of 1,000 chickens. Now, that's our country. Over in Europe, their governments are just as bad, folks. France, Germany, and even down under, Australia, they've canceled their New Year's celebrations. They're canceling, folks, Christmas celebrations. We all know why. We know who. But their governments are so cowardly that they're not brave enough to come out and say, yeah, it's the radical Islam out there who are threatening, making bomb threats, making terror threats, driving into Christmas celebrations. Tell the people who is doing it. Tell the people why they do it. It's so simple. Once you identify the problem people and explain why they're doing what they're doing, it becomes clear. Now you know what to expect. Now you know when to expect it. Now you know where to expect it, right? The who, what, where, when, why, how. The how, folks. Let's start with who. Islam, Muslims. Why? Because their religion tells them to kill us, and everything we like, they hate. How do they do it? Terrorism. Where? Christmas festivals, New Year's festivals, our holidays, our churches, our malls. Who, where, what? What? Terrorism. Why? Explain that. Right? How? Who? All the questions can be answered, but politicians will not point it out. They cover for them. Right? Islamic immigrants and the bullshit asylum seekers, folks, in Europe are vandalizing Christians and Christian celebrations. They're invading them. They're overcrowding them, displacing people, disrupting people, singing their songs, chanting and praying in Christian holidays, in Christian fairs. Churches, Christians, and Christian celebrations are being ruined. And we're supposed to believe diversity. It's our strength, isn't it? Woo! Okay. What do you guys want to talk about? What is on your mind? What are you seeing? What SHTF nonsense is happening? Mr. Uman, let's do a couple from the audience. Give me a chance to catch my breath. Change some subjects, but literally, I want to hear what you guys are thinking. So we've got C checking in, says the Republicans are a bunch of cowards, and many of them are complicit. I agree more than 100% if that's even possible. Republicans are cowards. They're weak. They won't stand up for themselves, much less stand up for me and you, the American people. The Republicans can expel numerous Democrats in the House of Congress, the House of Representatives in Congress, for what? For every rule known to man. They threw out, let's see, what's that guy? James Traficant, who was later killed, deadified for exposing evil, exposing corruption. He was a Democrat, by the way. And then they threw out the other fella, George, what's his face? A couple Republican, because, well, they didn't like him. But they won't throw out Ilhan Omar, who's committed fraud, naturalization fraud, bigamy, or incest, sorry. She married her brother, lied on her immigration. Fucking liar. Rashid Tlaib's a fucking terrorist. AOC is a retard. Right? How many? Hank Johnson thinks the island of Guam will flip over if we put too many more tanks on it. That's not a crime. Being stupid isn't a crime. Right? But being a criminal, they're all fucking criminals. So the Democrats say, you throw us out, we'll expose you for your criminality. So we get maggot Mike Johnson. Won't do shit. Hides pedophilia. Democrats and Republicans, they're all a bunch of fucking pedophiles, right? It's awful. The Republicans are cowards and complicit. That's why they won't do anything. They would rather lose, let the Democrats take control, and then they can go, oh, sorry, we're so powerless, we can't do nothing. They're the Republicans. There's something that's interesting. It's going to happen next year. I'm going to make a crazy, wild-ass 2026 prediction. Ready, Uman? The Republicans are going to do everything they fucking can to lose. Trump is going to continue to piss off Democrats and also his base. But the Republicans are going to get many more seats in Congress. And I'll tell you why. Not because of Trump, not because of maggot Mike Johnson or anything Congress has done. By the way, they've already let themselves out. They said, fuck it, we're not going to go to work today. And they're now on an extended Christmas break. Again. What's going to happen, though, is states. They're saying, hey, look, we've got this many people. We are now counting. We have grown. That means other states like California, Illinois, New York, They are shrinking in population. They have less representatives going to Washington, D.C. They're going to red states. And in fact, in red states, they're drawing and redistricting so that Democrats don't get power when they shouldn't. So the red states are going to have not only more people and more seats, but they're going to have the Democrats losing seats in those states just because of gerrymandering, bullshit lines. Oh, it's going to get good, folks. Thank you, C. It's going to get good. And by good, I mean messy. I think the Republicans can win a bunch of seats in spite of the fucking Republicans, in spite of AIPAC controlling, to a degree, Trump, to a degree, Congress, to a degree, the Senate, and who knows who else. Oh, yeah, big tech. I'm allowed to criticize Israel as a nation. That's not anti-Semitic. I'm allowed to criticize Iran and Ukraine and Russia and China and North Korea and Japan and Australia, everywhere. I don't give a fuck if they like it. Now, we're supposed to believe that our government's looking out for us. So the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, to me, he's like on a seesaw or a swing. Good, bad, good, bad. Well, in this case, he's on the good side. He has confirmed that the federal government is ending foreign aid to, quote, NGOs, right? Non-government organizations, foreign non-government organizations. And he's called it the, quote, foreign aid industrial complex. That's terrific, Mr. Rubio. Thank you, Secretary Rubio. I am now waiting, okay, for my $5,000 check that we were told, for my $2,000 check that we were told, for the 1776 check we were told could be coming, a Christmas bonus. How about a tax rebate? How about a tariff rebate? Americans pay too much money to government. We need to quit paying our taxes or have our taxes lowered. If they can throw around these numbers, they go, no, never mind. Sorry about that. You don't get 1776 or 2000, definitely not 5,000. We're not going to lower your taxes because we're going to take that money and we're going to send it to Ukraine. We're going to send it to Israel. We're going to send it to Taiwan. We're going to send it to NATO and Europe. Oh, yeah, they're going to send our fucking money everywhere else and then tell you, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. This NGO shit, non-government organizations, they're parasitic, folks. Let me tell you about parasites. Whether we're talking about an organization, whether we're talking about an ethnicity, a country, a religion, parasites, they're all the same. Here's how it starts. They ingratiate themselves to their host. They play the victim. They want you to feel sorry so that they can come in, right? Like, if you saw a mosquito on your arm, fucking smack it. But what if the mosquito could talk and be buzzing around, go, oh, man, it's been so rough. We got chased out of the other yard. We had to come to your yard. Please, man, let us come there. Give us some help. Give us some asylum. And, so now you've agreed not to smash the parasite. So it ingratiates itself, and it's a victim. And then, after time, it establishes itself. It claims equality. Well, we're just like everyone else. But it still plays the victim. The parasite, after claiming equality, begins to seek positions of influence within education, government, media. Oh, yeah. It gets positions of influence while still playing the victim, always perpetually the victim. Don't smash me, man. I'm just a mosquito. I just want to teach your children that parasites are good. I just want to have movies that tell you parasites are good. I want news that tells you parasites are, us gentle, harmless mosquitoes, right? We're victims, man. Everyone else kills us. So they get these positions of influence throughout government and all industry. When they get enough influence, they push for control, all while playing the victim, of course, and also asking for money. We just need money. We need help. We're just so helpless. We're poor victims. Everyone's picking. No one likes us. Well, yeah, you're parasites. but they use their influence and they push for control. They start gaining control, all while claiming victimhood so you can never criticize them. Oh, you want to talk about us? That's Islamophobia. That's anti-Semitism. Oh my God, how dare you? Oh, you're a Russia lover. Oh, so they call us names, right? You love Russia. No, I don't. Right? You're a Nazi. No, I'm not. They'll attack you and call you names, but if you point out what they are and what they do and how they're doing it and what the consequences are, they scream at you, Islamophobe, anti-Semite, right? They gain control, always claiming victimhood. They talk like a strong man, though, but still, they come back and we need money, we need help, we need handouts. Take our poor, dispossessed, homeless people to your country as illegal immigrants that can fucking destroy everything, right? So what do they want to do? They want to take everything they can. They want to control government, control the people, punish all dissent, demand no criticism from the subjects beneath them. Islam is superior, right? Judeo-Christian beliefs are superior as long as they're coming from Israel. And no one can criticize us. They claim superiority while still claiming to be victims, but righteous victims. Victims who can threaten people. They can take what they want, they can do what they want, and they're victims, but by golly, they'll stand up for themselves. And so what they do, these parasites from all around the world, they go and find a host country and a decent people, a hardworking people, a productive people, and they attach themselves and suck the host dry. Oh, it takes decades after decades after decades and decades. They suck the host dry while claiming they're victims. They steal the wealth of the host. They kill the host's laws, the culture, the traditions of those countries, and they have them replaced with garbage. And they leave the corpse for carrion to pick at, carrion being vultures. And then what does the parasite do? It has no allegiance to the country that hosted it as they sucked it dry. They have no allegiance. Oh, they can talk nice. They can be friendly, always playing the victim. But the point is they have no national connection, no historical connection. Of course, they say they do, but they don't. Islam built America. Fuck you. Without Israel, America never would have been. Fuck, you guys weren't even around. You weren't made until 1948. You're going to tell us that you were here in 1776? You're going to tell us you were here in 1701? The 1600s? Right? In America, way before the revolution, you were building America. Bullshit, right? But that's what they do. They're parasites. They're liars. They don't have any real loyalty to the country because they have loyalty to their religion. They have loyalty to their original country, like the Somalis and Ilhan Omar up there in Minnesota, always talking about how she's there to protect Somalia. She's there to serve and represent Somalia. Just like Senator Cruz. When I get to Congress as a U.S. Senator, the most important thing to me is to stand up for Israel. Really? Israel needs you? Apparently they do. But the parasite folks, after they kill the host, they move on to the next host. They don't care. They'll find another country and do the same thing again. China, folks, does not want to allow parasites in. Nope. Russia does not want parasites in that country. You are Russian, and that's it. I tell you, folks. Let me tell you, it's pretty crazy. Let's do one from the crowd there, Mr. Uman. Let's have some fun here. What do we got? We got Uman says, "Oh, it's been an exciting week in precious metals. It's been a bad week if you own lots of cash. Silver futures heading into the close are sitting around $67.40. On the first trading day of November, November 3rd, you know what the price of silver was? I think it was $47.38. Literally, and we're not even 2 months done, right? We still have trading Monday, Tuesday, possibly part of Wednesday, possibly part of Friday, and then the 29th and 30th, and maybe half of the 31st of December. Guess what? More trading days. Silver is going to go up. But for now, just in the last 2 months, starting at November 3rd, we've gone up exactly $20. That's an average of 50 cents a day. But $20, $10 a month. Now, if you look at that in terms of percentage, right? 47 is almost 50. Now we're almost to 70. 2 months up 40%. 40% in 2 months. Well, hell, not even 2 months. Gold is sitting at 43.69 right now. The gold silver ratio is 65 to 1. At the beginning of the year, the gold to silver ratio was approximately 100 to 1. In other words, silver has expanded its growth, or recognition of value. Right? It is just blasted up because, well, it's money. There's a shortage. It's an industrial metal, and it's an international metal, and it's trading essentially 24 hours a day. Now, it is no longer just an American market controlled by American banks and the COMEX. It is now controlled by Shanghai. They try to control it with the in London, but they're failed. They've completely failed. And the more they try and hold it down, the more costly it's going to be for them. They've been trying to hold it down, folks. They have held it down. Since we came off got rid of silver coinage, came off the gold standard, they've been holding it down for, 60 fucking years. But most notably in 1981, when they fucked the Hunt brothers out of billions of dollars, they controlled it. Now it's an international market. It's used internationally, and it's so industrialized that it's required for everything high tech. And they go through 1 billion ounces a year, but they only produce 800 million ounces. We're running out of silver. It's at all-time highs. It is going to go up so fast and so hard in the next few months. It is going to make heads spin. It's going to make people cry for not investing in it. Silver, it did go a little higher today, but it's going to close at an all-time high. It's going to end the week at an all-time high. And odds are it's going to finish the month and year at an all-time high. Gold is just under its all-time high intraday. I believe this is the highest close ever, or second highest close ever. And Uman says there are rumors of big things happening in financial markets. Big things, meaning, let's see, government's lowering interest rates, good for gold and silver. Government is going to war everywhere it can, good for gold and silver. These are also bad for us, but good for gold and silver, which is improving and demonstrating that having it, physical metal, it's in 1 ounce of silver there, having this protects me from government stupidity, government spending, government debt, government war, banking debt, banking fraud, government financial fraud. Big things are happening in the markets. Banks are getting close to failing. Now gold, just so everyone understands, gold isn't some pet rock or some shiny piece of metal that sits on the floor in the corner. After the bond market, which is the biggest financial market on the planet, the next biggest market, what is traded publicly, the biggest, you guys guess what the biggest asset is out there? Is it Nvidia or Apple or Netflix or Google? No, it's gold. Gold has the biggest market cap, not Bitcoin, gold. Then there's a couple of tech stocks. Silver has now moved up to number 4. Silver has the 4th largest market cap, market valuation, if you want to use that term instead. There is that much money invested in silver, and it hasn't even started. It hasn't even started. All commodities are going up, folks, because trust in dollars and financial instruments, trust in other nations is out the window. Look, why should you trust the government if other nations don't trust the government? Why should we trust any other nation and their governments? The whole world is nationalizing. They're intelligent. If they're not, then they're really making a mistake. But governments are now going, we need raw materials. We need commodities. We need food. We need oil. We need energy. We need metals. We need all these things. And guess what? It's getting harder to get. They're getting more expensive. And people aren't taking paper promises. Nations want to make sure that what they're being told they're going to be paid in is something real. And that's what this gold and silver rush is all about. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to predict that by the end of January, gold is going to be $5,000. Catch that, man? Another John prediction here for January. Not the whole fucking year. January, we're going to hit $5,000 gold. I'm going to say hide and watch. It's coming. Anyways, thank you for putting the numbers up there, Mr. Uman. It's if you've managed to invest or take your money and turn paper currency, or some people call it money, but it's currency. It's a medium of exchange. Turn that paper into silver or gold. You're going to preserve your wealth. You take money or currency again, and you buy food and store it. Inflation, folks, stagflation, inflation. The increase in the cost of things that are important to you. If you invest in food, that's an investment. It's there for an emergency. And if hard times come financially, if there's an interruption in the system, AKA, SHTF, big time, Mad Max, or what have you, you will rest assured knowing you've got food, you've got water, you've got the right clothing, you've got a place to stay, your bunker, your house, whatever. Then you have the medicine you need, and you have the self-preservation tools, right? This is wealth preservation. This is self-preservation. You can't have one without the other. My recommendation, and since the bad guys don't watch this fucking show, is you can go on eBay, and you can buy safes that are disguises, kind of like a can of Ajax. It looks like a can of Ajax, and it actually has Ajax in it, but there's a compartment in there where you can store a few silver coins, a few gold coins, some paper money that you just need to have just for an emergency. You can store that under your sink, under your bathroom sink. It's just a nice way to store a little bit of wealth. There's lots of ways to hide wealth. One of the ways to do it is not store it in your house at all. But then you have to have a place that you know, that you can trust, that is safe. You can bury it in the ground in a PVC container, right? You can put it in your attic. You can do there's lots of hiding places, but tough business, folks. Self-preservation and protection. I trust all of my metals to some people who are extreme radicals. And I don't have much. But what I do have, I trust. I'm just like, dudes, can you keep this? Lots of guns, very bad attitudes. My kind of guys. And I can trust them. That's another thing that's hard to come by, trust. That's why I say, hey, look, if you got a little bit, you don't have anyone to trust, find a way to hide it in your house. Get one of these disguise safes. It's an Ajax or a box of tampons. Right? You can store shit anywhere. You don't even have to buy that stuff online. You can just make your own miniature disguised safes. People used to hide stuff in books. You want to hide stuff in a good place? Get an old pair of shitty work boots and stuff the toes full of whatever you got that you need to protect. No one's going to steal work boots because they don't want to work. All right. Mr. Uman, do we have any content out there on this fine Friday free for all? Because I've got so much to talk about. I can't stand it. There's a lot going on. Like I said, I've got a birthday party to attend. I'm waiting for the little alarm to go off. Once the alarm hits, I'm off. Now, you and I were promised Epstein files, Epstein clients. We were promised justice. We were promised that our children would be protected. All those promises, right? Yes, we were. And we're just now getting something, right? Yeah, the Department of Justice has released yet another batch of Epstein files. There's some photos of Bill Clinton swimming with a mystery woman. Who cares? Right? We know that he's a fucking womanizer. Who cares? I want to know who Epstein was working for. Everyone with half a brain says he's working for Mossad, which is the Israeli CIA. I guess if you say that now, they could call it anti-Semitism. Oh, folks. The ACLU, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the attorneys for AIPAC, we're going to go after everybody. Nope, you're not allowed to say anything that we disagree with, or you're anti-Semitic. And they're going to be the ones that determine what anti-Semitism is. In fact, remember when hate crimes came out? And we're like, what's the difference between killing someone and killing someone with hate? I mean, don't you have to hate someone or something or have some kind of problem to kill someone in the first place? What difference does it make if it's a hate crime? And how does that make anything? It's fucking stupid. But what it was, that was a back door. It was a workaround to get around the Constitution. It was a workaround to violate the First Amendment and violate your Fourth and Fifth Amendments as well by calling something hate. And then they get to say what hate is. Well, hate is not liking oatmeal. It's a good example, is it not? Oatmeal. I hate oatmeal. Oh, that's a crime right there, mister. How dare you talk shit about oatmeal? It's oatmeal. I can say what I want about it. It's just fucking oatmeal. Who cares? I fucking hate it. You know, I'm not going to go burn down an oatmeal farm. That's a crime. Saying you hate oatmeal? You think oatmeal is stupid? You don't like the oatmeal lobby? That's how that works. Well, how about this? Remember, there's this guy named Malcolm X. He's a pretty sharp character. Smart, that is. And he joined and became one of these American Muslims, which Louis Farrakhan has run this organization for a long time. Right. But he was assassinated. Malcolm X was. When he spoke out about American politics, I think he said when Kennedy was killed, well, chickens come home to roost. He also had some issues with the Israelis and the Jews. So a reporter asked him, quote, "Are you anti-Semitic?" Malcolm X said this, "No, how can I be anti-Semitic when the Arabs are Semitic? If I was anti-Semitic, I would be anti-Arab. I think there's one mistake that the Jews make is that whenever anyone gets an objective analysis of the role that they play, they defend themselves by accusing you of being anti-Semitic." So Malcolm X, a member of the Nation of Islam, right? They claim to be Islamic, fine. They also claim to be Arab. So that's why he says, if I was anti-Semitic, I would be anti-Arab, because Arabs are Semites. Isn't that funny? Think about this. Israel is committing genocide in Gaza by wiping out Palestinians. Arabs, Semites. Israelis are killing Semites. And if you criticize them, they call you an anti-Semite. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-Islam and Islamic jihad and Islamic rape and Islamic murder. I am anti any religion that says we hate Christians. We hate white people. We want to kill everyone. We want to subjugate them. We want to dominate them. We want to sue them. We want to destroy them. I think that's why I am going to criticize them, because most people are afraid to do it. And you need to understand, you need to stand up for yourself. Stop being afraid. Right? They're going to come after you whether you like it or not. They're going to come after you whether you're nice or not. They're going to come after you, all of us, because of what you are. You're a black Republican. You're a conservative Hispanic. You're a moderate Asian. Well, you're a white supremacist, whitey, bad whitey. Right? They don't like you Christians. None of these Middle Eastern religions do. They're always promising us death and destruction, and that we're going to be dominated. Absolutely incredible, is it not? All right, folks. President Trump is continuing to do President Trump stuff. I just don't get it. I really don't. And I'm tired of being lied to by politicians. There's a huge scandal with this Brown University shooting because they turned off cameras, they removed cameras because it's a sanctuary city and a sanctuary school. So because they want to protect illegals, regular people get killed. The Attorney General of Rhode Island is now saying the shooter, the murderer, might have made, quote, barking noise before opening fire. Is that pretty common? Barking noise? Bark, bark, bark. Let me try this one. Aloha, snack bar. Oh, yeah. Snack bar, bark, snack bar. Yeah, I guess we're supposed to just buy that, right? Because that's what people do. They tend to go to a mass shooting zone and they bark like dogs or meow like cats, or do a call like caribou, right? That's what they do before they kill people. Ooh, man, great question. He was a furry? No, and no. That's funny. The Democrats, folks, the Republicans are cowards. They're absolute pussies. They're afraid of their own fucking shadows. They are worthless dickheads. Democrats are fucking dangerous. They are outright in your face dangerous. They're promising to come after all of us. Oh, yeah. They're going to come after all of us as soon as they get power back. In fact, one asshole, and I don't know why it wasn't in my zone, in my other questions. The Democrats are threatening that if you, as federal law enforcement, enforced immigration law, then when they get power back, they're going to come after you and prosecute you. So what they're saying is, if your job as federal law enforcement is to remove illegal aliens and you do your job, not a crime, they're going to be mad. But if those law enforcement people don't do their job, that is a crime. Just like it's a crime for those police to go into a school and not stop the shooter while he's killing kids and just standing there in front of a camera. That's a crime. Not doing your job when you're charged with it in your law enforcement is a crime and should be a crime and should be treated as a crime. The same way as if you're in the military, Army, Marines, and you're out there fighting and you refuse to follow orders and engage the enemy, you will be fucking arrested, you will be court-martialed, and you will go spend some fucking time in places like, well, comfy Leavenworth, or maybe Guantanamo Bay. But Democrats are going to do what? They're going to prosecute law enforcement for doing their job. So they're telling the world that unless law enforcement becomes lawless, the Democrats will be lawless and use no laws and attack law enforcement for doing their job. Absolutely unfucking believable, huh? Now, Tucker Carlson, folks, is out there. And he's fighting. He's fighting. He's going hardcore on freedom. I'm going to read and finish the show out with some of this. Tucker Carlson says, quote, "I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just asking, why did a foreign government, meaning Israel, try to sink a United States naval ship? And why isn't AIPAC registered as a foreign lobby?" He continues, "I'm 56. Well, how about that? I'm going to be 56 soon, too. He says, my kids are grown. I'm simply not afraid of you. You can kill me, shoot me, jail me. I'm not staying silent." The person that posted all this stuff, he said, AIPAC is not a lobby. It's a government inside a government. Let's be real. Yeah, we need to be real about what the fuck is going on. We really do. We need to be real. I'm not anti-Semitic. I want to know why we're giving so much money to a government that has tried dragging us into wars. And there's no benefit to it. I actually listened to a guy explain it in this way. If you had a friend, right? Let's just say America and Israel, they're friends. They're the greatest allies together. But you go out with your friend. You, me, any of us. We go out with our friend. Pick a friend. And every time we go out to a restaurant, a beach bar, your friend antagonizes other people and starts a fight and expects you to get in there and fight for him. You go out with this friend, and he's always telling you, you need to pay for everything. And then you need to get into a fight. And it costs you money, and you get injured, and you have to pay fines, and you get arrested. How long do you keep that person as a friend before you say, you know what? We can't be friends. We don't think alike. We don't act alike. You keep getting me in fights. You keep costing me money. You keep wasting my time. I am done with you. I thought that was a great way to illustrate the relationship the United States has with Israel. Israel as a nation continues to cause trouble in the Middle East and then tells America, get in there and fight for us. You better go bomb Iran or we're going to nuke people. Right? So America spends its wealth. America spends its money. America uses its military. Our sons and daughters don't need to die because some megalomaniac motherfucker over there decides he wants a greater Israel project and is going to start attacking people. Not good. Not good at all. Now, Tucker did say, you can kill me, shoot me, jail me. I'm not staying silent. I'll say, you can kill me. You can shoot me. I'm not staying silent. But I'm not going to allow myself to be jailed for something that is my right. And that is the right to speak, to criticize, to point out facts, to share my opinion, to insult people, to be rude, whatever. It is not a crime to do those things. And we all need to understand that the powers that be use computers, artificial intelligence to create pictures and videos. They can attack people. They can arrest you. They can make up laws. They can manufacture evidence. Is that what they're going to do? Well, I haven't done any of those things. I've done nothing illegal. I pay my fucking taxes. I bust my ass. I'm an American and I have my rights and I'm not going to go to fucking jail. because someone doesn't like me, because someone doesn't like what I say. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to fight here. But they can kill me, sure. Why not? Why not cause an accident at an intersection and roll a fucking grenade under my truck? Or throw a Molotov cocktail through the window at me. You can do that. They can kill me. But I'm not going to quit. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. I'll see you Sunday night at Sunday Night Live. God bless America. America first, America only, Semper Fi.
Ho, 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 ho.